Hi, let us discuss about the male urethra. Male urethra forms a common tubular passage in males for the elimination of urine as well as for the elimination of the semen. If you see the extent of it, it extends from the internal urethral orifice at the apex of the trigone of the urinary bladder to till the external urethral orifice at the tip of the glans penis. The urethra extends. It extends from the internal urethral orifice at the trigone of the apex of the trigone of the urinary bladder to the external urethral orifice at the tip of the glans penis. Shape. Normally in flaccid state of penis, it assumes the shape like this with a curve in the flaccid state. Parts. If you see the parts of it, it consists of prostatic part, membranous part and spongy part. The urethra is made up of three parts. The proximal being the prostatic part, where it is surrounded by prostate is prostatic part, where it is related to the urogenital membrane is membranous part, and within the penis it is the spongy part. Okay. Measurements, if you see, the total length of urethra in male is around 18 to 20 centimeters. Is it clear? Of which the prostatic part of the urethra is around 3 centimeters. The membranous part is around 2 centimeters and the spongy part is around 15 centimeters. Is it clear? The prostatic part is 3 centimeters. The membranous part is around 2 centimeters and the spongy part being 15 centimeters. In the membranous part, if you see, the anterior wall is 2 centimeters and the posterior wall is 1.25 centimeters only. Okay. Next, that is the total length. Breadth, if you see, average breadth being 6 mm. Average breadth being 6 mm. And the minimum breadth is seen at the external urethral orifice, which is around 4 mm. And the maximum breadth is seen in the prostatic urethra, which is around 8 mm. And the average being 6 mm. And the membranous part is around 5 millimeters. It's clear? At the external urethral orifice, the breadth is 4 mm. It is the thinner. At the prostatic urethra, it is wider. It is 8 mm. Average being 6 mm. At the membranous part, it is 5 mm. Okay. Cross section. On cross section, the lumen of the urethra presents different shape. Is it clear? If you see at the prostatic urethra, at the where the urethra is surrounded by the prostate, if you take a cross section, it is this shape. This is crescentic. This is crescentic in shape. At the prostatic urethra, it is crescentic in shape with the convexity directed anteriorly. It is convexity directed anteriorly, that is crescentic shaped in the prostatic part. In the membranous part, it is stellate shaped or irregular shaped. In the membranous part, on cross section, the lumen presents this shape, which is stellate or irregular. This is in the membranous part. Now, if you see the spongy part, these are parts of the penis. If you see the bulb of the penis, the body of the penis, the glans penis. So at the bulb of the penis, if you see, it is trapezoid shaped. This is trapezoid shaped. At the bulb of the penis being trapezoid shaped. At the body of the penis, it presents a transverse slit. At the base of the glans penis, it presents an inverted T-shaped slit. At the base of the glans penis, it presents inverted T-shaped slit. and at the external urethral orifice it presents a sagittal slit on cross section. I repeat, on cross section the shape of the lumen of the urethra. At the prostatic urethra it is crescentric shape. At the membranous urethra it is stellate or irregular shaped. At the bulb of the penis it is trapezoid shaped. At the body of the penis it is a transverse slit. At the glans penis it is an inverted T shaped, and at the external urethral orifice it is sagittal slit. The significance of this irregular lumen is it allows the projectile nature of the flow of the urine. Because of the irregularity, this irregular lumen induces a spiral twist and prevents the early separation of the urine droplets and allows a projectile flow of the urine. Okay. Now coming to the prostatic part. Description of the prostatic part. Prostatic part of the urethra is contained within the prostate gland. It extends from the base of the prostate gland to the apex of the prostate gland. It passes through the prostate at the junction of anterior 1/3 and posterior 2/3 of the gland, like this. At the junction of anterior 1/3 and posterior 2/3 of the gland, the urethra is passing through the prostate, and it is the most dilated part of the urethra, dilated and widest. On coronal section it is fusiform in shape, the wider diameter being in the middle of the wider portion being in the middle of the urethra, and the narrower part in the lower part of the prostatic urethra. On cross section, already you know it is crescentric in shape on cross section. When the urethra is empty, both the anterior walls and posterior walls come in approximation with each other, and it presents some features. Like in the midline, if you see, it presents a median urethral crest. The features within the prostatic urethra are: number 1, a median urethral crest, which is a mucus crest situated in the middle of the posterior part of the prostatic urethra, which is around 3 mm in size, and size increasing from above downwards till the middle. Gradually the slice is tapering. Okay. Then the other feature being colliculus seminalis, this rounded one. Second feature, colliculus seminalis is a fusiform dilatation seen in the middle of the median urethral crest, into which prostatic utricle and pair of ejaculatory ducts open. Is it clear? It is a fusiform dilatation seen in the middle of the urethral crest, into which prostatic utricle and ejaculatory ducts of either sides open. Now, what is prostatic utricle? If you see this diagram, this is a prostatic utricle, this is urethra, prostatic urethra, this is prostatic utricle. Prostatic utricle is an extension seen along the posterior aspect of the urethra, running upwards and backwards, running upwards and backwards. This prostatic utricle is formed by the union of the caudal parts of the leftover caudal parts of paramesonephric duct or Mullerian ducts in males. This prostatic utricle is produced by the union of paramesonephric ducts in males in the lower part, and developmentally it corresponds with the vagina in female. Hence, this prostatic utricle is called as musculus vaginus. Hence, this prostatic utricle is considered as the musculus vaginus. The colliculus seminalis is a remnant of the Mullerian or paramesonephric tubercle, whereas prostatic utricle is a remnant of the lower part of the paramesonephric duct or Mullerian duct. Then we have this one, ejaculatory duct. This ejaculatory duct is around 2 centimeters in length, which is formed by the union of seminal vesicle and vas deferens. Both these join with each other to form ejaculatory duct, and that opens into the prostatic urethra within the median lobe of the prostate by the sides of prostatic utricle on either sides. This is about the ejaculatory duct. Then we have another feature which is called as prostatic sinuses. Around the sides of the prostatic urethra you find a deep mucous recesses into which the ducts of the prostate gland open, and that is called as prostatic sinuses. So the features within the prostatic urethra include median urethral crest, colliculus seminalis, which receives 3 openings, that is one prostatic utricle and 2 ejaculatory ducts, and third one is the prostatic sinuses. Okay. Now coming to the general relations of this prostate. In front it is related to the isthmus of prostate. In front it is related to the isthmus. On the sides it is related to the lateral lobe of prostate. Posteriorly in the upper part it is related to the median lobe of the prostate, and in the lower part the continuation of the 2 lateral lobes in the form of the posterior lobe it is related. This is all about the prostatic urethra. Coming to the membranous part of the urethra, it is almost the narrowest part of the urethra after external urethral orifice, which is 4 mm. Here it is 5 mm. This membranous urethra, if you see, it begins as a continuation of prostatic urethra below the prostate. It presents it runs downwards and forwards. It presents it downward and forwards, pierces the perineal membrane. Perineal membrane is nothing but the inferior fascia of the urogenital membrane together with the urogenital diaphragm. Inferior fascia of urogenital diaphragm together with the diaphragm, we can consider it as the perineal membrane. After piercing the perineal membrane, it enters the enters the bulb of the penis around 6 millimeters in front of the posterior end. This is the bulb of the penis. About 6 millimeters in front of the posterior end of the bulb of the penis, it enters the penis. The posterior wall of the this membranous urethra is in touch with the the bulb of the penis, whereas the anterior part, it passes through the opening, and that makes the anterior wall more lengthier than the posterior wall. Anterior wall being 2 centimeters in length, whereas the posterior wall being 1.25 centimeters only in length. So this is all about the membranous urethra. The relations, if you see, it is related by the sphincter urethral muscle around it. On each side, the bulbourethral glands. These are the bulbourethral glands on each side. This is one-sided diagram we have seen, and this is the duct of the bulbourethral gland. And in front, this one, deep dorsal vein of penis. The relations of the membranous part are, it is related to sphincter urethrae. On each side, it is related to bulbourethral glands and its duct, and in front to deep dorsal vein of penis. Now, if you see the next spongy part. Spongy part is the longest part. It is around 15 centimeters in length. It extends as a continuation of the membranous part of the urethra to the tip, that is till the external urethral orifice. And this spongy part, it is contained within the bulbous spongiosum of the penis. Corpus spongiosum of the penis muscle, it is contained within that, and the features within this longest part, that is the spongy part, include urethral glands of litter, the features include urethral glands. These are the numerous urethral glands, which are simple tubular mucous glands situated along the length of the spongy urethra, except at the terminal portion. Okay, except at the terminal end. The other features include urethral lacunae, like in female urethra. These are the mucus lined pits, mucus recesses seen along the spongy urethra, and it is directed, the mouths of these pits are directed towards the urethra, and one of the pit, which is longer, here if you see this one, it is called as lacuna magna, which is present along the dorsal end of this navicular or terminal fossa, which is guarded by a valve, and that valve is called as valve of Gerlin. Is it clear? There are numerous urethral lacunae, of which one lacunae is larger, and that is called as lacuna magna, which is guarded by a valve called valve of Guerin, and this is situated along the dorsal aspect of the beginning of the navicular or terminal fossa. Okay. Next, if you see this spongy urethra, it presents two dilatations in its course. One at the beginning, this is called as the intrabulbar fossa or infrabulbar fossa. Here it is dilated, and this dilated part is around 3 centimeters. Because of this dilatation, a cross section at the bulb, if you see, it appears trapezoid in shape. Due to the dilatation, it is trapezoid in shape. So this is one which is 3 centimeters, and the second dilatation is at the end. A dilatation here, it is called as navicular fossa or terminal fossa, which is around 1.5 centimeters and does not receive any glands or the lacunae, urethral lacunae in this particular region. This is all about the spongy urethra. Now coming to sphincters. Sphincters of the urethra, two sphincters, internal sphincter and external sphincter. Internal sphincter is at the internal urethral orifice, uvula vesicae. That already we have talked about this internal sphincter in the urinary bladder, and the external sphincter is around the membranous part, which is formed by the sphincter vesicae muscle. Internal sphincter at the internal urethral orifice by the uvula vesicae. External sphincter of the urethra is by the sphincter urethral muscle present around the membranous urethra. Arterial supply, it is supplied by inferior vesical artery, internal pudendal artery, middle rectal artery, and urethral branch of artery to the bulb of the penis, which is a branch of internal pudendal artery. Venous drainage corresponds with the names of the arteries. Lymphatic drainage, prostatic part drains into prostatic and membranous part drains into external and internal iliac nodes. Spongy part drains into external or inguinal group of lymph nodes. Nerve supply, sympathetics by superior hypogastric plexus derived from L1 and L2 segments of the spinal cord, and the parasympathetics from S2, S3 and S4 nerves. Applied, rupture of the urethra is common. Fall on the perineum is one of the main cause. Commonest portion which is ruptured is this membranous part of the urethra. It is usually ruptured either by fall or by passage of a catheter or a sound or ultrasound for diagnostic purpose, or even faulty technique of putting the Foley's catheter, inflating much earlier, ballooning it much earlier, might rupture the urethra, wherein the urine, if there is a rupture in the membranous part, the urine may be extravasated into the this region SPP, that is a superficial perineal pouch, and if the accumulation is more, it may be seen in the scrotum with eventual filling, enlargement or dilatation of the scrotal sac. In front, if it is escaping, the urine may pass forwards anteriorly, being limited by this is the fascia of Scarpa, that is a deep membranous layer. So when this urine, when the membranous part of the urethra is ruptured, the urine may be extravasated in this region and might enter the abdominal, but not below into the thigh, because this fascia of the Scarpa is fused with the fascia lata of the thigh below the inguinal ligament. Hence it cannot pass below, but it can pass upwards. So traumatic rupture of this urethra is more common. Urethral stricture can be seen. Urethral stenosis can be seen. Developmental narrowing of the urethra can happen. So all this is about the topic male urethra. Thank you.